Hi y'all, this is Daisycakes, and I was just going to show you a video that a news stalker left on my phone, and I'm not kidding. And first I have to tell you some backstory. So, when I was in Austin, I used to go to Al-Anon meetings way back in the early 2000s. That's why I have 21 years in Al-Anon, right? I started going to this little church, a big Catholic church, on 2222, and then that was during the day, so I would go, got my kids off at school, run my errands because I was a stay-at-home mom, and then I would go up to the meeting at 12, and I'd be there for this really great Al-Anon meeting, and then I would turn around and I would come back, and I would pick up my kids and I would go home, and that would pretty much be my day for the first 30 days I was in Al-Anon, right? 30 meetings in 30 days. So then I started going just on like Tuesday, Thursday, and so on. And on Saturdays, the girls would go up with me and they would play around the meeting because St. Teresa's is a really pretty place, and they have a lot of exploring to do there. And it was fairly safe, and if I needed to, I would just take someone up to go with them and kind of wander around with them. And that's where I met my first sponsor and her husband, who was great for a long time. And then I started going to school, and I started studying during the day after my husband left. So, in Al-Anon, when you first get into Al-Anon, your marriage will change. So it could either succeed, which many do, or it could go through a period of change where one or both of you needs to maybe live somewhere else or do something else or something. So that's what happened to us. And so I needed to go to, I still have my red hair, y'all, just showing you. So I needed to go to a different meeting. So I found a meeting not very far away because remember I was trying to stay out of my old town, the town I lived in, because I didn't want anybody talking about me being in recovery. So I went to Austin for meetings in the middle of central Austin. And I'm trying to think. Well, it was very interesting. I mean, I wasn't in the best emotional place. I told my story to people. I told my story in different places in Austin. It was really nice, and but I kept crying all the way through it because it was so emotional for me to actually have reached a catharsis. Because him leaving actually was not such a bad thing for me, since he was my he wasn't my original qualifier. That would be my dad, because I was always told to go to Alateen even when I was a teenager, and I just never did. But he was my second qualifier, I would say. And I wouldn't say alcohol is his drug of choice today because I don't take his inventory, but he was in recovery for a while when we were in college. And so he was familiar with the idea that he wasn't totally against me going until, well, clearly another time. But mostly he was fine with it. So the girls were with me. I had full custody of them. And they went to the Al-Anon meetings with me. They grew up in them. They went from 2004 to as often as they wanted to go after that, basically, until they were out of my house. So 18, I guess. And they were great. They had a babysitting room, and there was a nice guy there. And he was the secretary guy when I first got there, and he was so sweet to them, and they just loved him. And he would help them with their homework and stuff when they didn't want to be in the room if there was too many noisy kids. They were very well behaved kids, and so they could sit out there with him if they wanted to. So I just want to tell you, I never quite look the same. So, I mean, this is Katie. You can tell from my voice, but there could be, if a stalker ever tries to imitate me, then that's just how it goes, y'all. I can't really control that. I can't help that I look different if I straighten my hair or if I wear makeup or if I don't wear makeup. I just look different. So, let me think. So, so they grew up in the Al-Anon rooms, right? Well, I had to stop going for like 2 or 3 years to that meeting. I did go down south to the South Austin St. David's Hospital meetings, and also to the St. David's on 35. It was pretty easy for me to get to, and so I went there a lot, and I went to, a lot of meetings in Austin. I went to a lot of Westlake meetings. I went to a lot of meetings in general. So those were easier considering where I was living. and I didn't have any trouble. Okay, but when I went back, because I started drinking more heavily, the whole time I was drinking, alcohol is legal, y'all, no shame there. And I started drinking more heavily, and so I ended up going back to the other meetings because I had always liked the alcoholics there, the tone that they had to their AA meetings. They're always very welcome in the central Austin area. And so I went there, and I trusted the babysitting. Well, when someplace has good babysitting, then you just know that they're going to end up being good people, right? At least solid people to try to be around. So I went back, and the meeting had changed a lot. There was a lot of people from the Austin State Hospital there. And I tell you that because I'm a special. Well, what is going on with this thing? Is it the tablet casting a shadow? I'm not sure, y'all. But anyway, I'm a special ed teacher by trade, and so I recognize this different emotional disabilities when I see them from a distance, and I realized that this was going to be different. So I went ahead and undertook the meetings with kind of a watchful eye to myself. I did not let my kids go anymore once that started, and I didn't let them meet me there. They met me at Central Market beforehand, and we did stuff around the town, but they didn't really come to the meetings after that because I was confident. They were already going to church themselves. I had found them a youth group that I wanted them to try this, so they'd be familiar with that life, and they were going there on Wednesdays and Sundays, and so I felt like that was kind of enough, and they really needed to, unless they felt called upon to ask to go to Al-Anon, which they were perfectly old enough to do, or Alateen. I felt like it was better for them to just do whatever they thought was best. And they had Alateen books and devotionals and stuff of their own too. So anyway, I got sober. I had to do I did 60 meetings in 60 days that time. And it was a lot for us to deal with, all of us. And I wasn't at home as much as I wanted to be. But my kids, as I said, were very busy. My eldest daughter was a drum major in the band at that time, or getting to be. And she was always working at practices and after school. And I would go watch those practices and sit in the band stands. Then after they were done, I would make sure that they had dinner, and I would start them on their homework, and I would go to a meeting. And I would be gone from like 6:30 to 9, and then I would come home. And that was pretty much most nights. It was like I was working a part-time job, but it still was less supervision than I was used to having. I'm sure that will come up at some point. It was in their therapy probably, but mostly, it was interesting and different. They were used to me being basically at their beck and call, and I was very happy to do that for them for as long as I could. But let me think what else. Oh, so the meeting started filling up with people from the state hospital, both workers and patients and other people. And I'm not talking about the actual meeting rooms because I wouldn't mention that. I meant the common areas and parking lots and things. And that got to be very difficult. Well, the people that are stalking me here are also kind of those kinds of people. They're former prison guards and mental institution workers are very similar. The calling is kind of the same, and so they might cross over a lot. And I personally know quite a few people that have crossed over from one job to the other and back again. And so I might say that just, as sort of an advisory that's probably what was happening, although I didn't really follow those people because I didn't really know them. The guys that were stalking me were totally unfamiliar to me except for glimpsing them in the driveway back and forth and stuff. And so I didn't know them. And I didn't know that they were obsessed with my daughters. And I didn't know that they were following me around. I didn't know that they were obsessed with me. I didn't realize the unhealthiness of the environment because I don't lead in a healthy environment. I mean, drinking is legal and it's fun, and I keep it in my home. And I don't really try to show that part of me to anybody because I didn't want to lose my job and I didn't want to lose my kids. So when that all started to be a factor, I went ahead and sought help, and I have been sober now for 11 years, which is a long time. And this is going to keep happening because the light is messed up. So let me put this real quick down, and I'll try to find the light thing to plug in and get myself a better light. Hold on. Okay, much better. So, now, it's very difficult to talk about things without talking about, it's very difficult to talk about things without being specific about things that are probably better left in the room, so I'm not going to mention too many of those things, okay? I just wanted to make it clear that there is an aspect of this, that there's an aspect of this that has to do with that mentally unhealthy people, and a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people that are called to be in the mental health industry could use help for the mental health industry, because a lot of them, some of them, maybe a small percentage of them, I don't know, but some of them are affected maybe by heredity or through their own experiences in life, and they turn to help others maybe before they've been fully helped themselves, or they might have some kind of bent towards changing people or fixing people, or they may be there to get hours or credits or look for something professional, sort of clientele. So, I mean, I love the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous and Al-Anon. I have spent so much time in lots of them, and I have to say that by and large they're wonderful people, right? But there's always something, and you have to kind of look and ask yourself what you're really seeing when you look at things. And that's really difficult. But anyway, so these guys are sort of people that maneuver those kinds of people from different sections of a place to different other sections of a place. And they were trying to do that to me for real estate reasons, as far as I can tell. And that meant that, because I told you my dad had a very important job, and that job, part of that job entails like sort of a courtesy amongst these people that do that kind of job, that your kids will be watched kind of out for the rest of their lives, right? As you would hope you would get as a free perk for working a job like that. And I've always been very grateful. But until these guys took over, it was quite pleasant. Now it's been, until these guys took over, it's been quite pleasant. But now it's been kind of very not pleasant. And because what they're supposed to be doing, I mean, in general, if they're interested in watching out for someone, let's say, is sort of observing, not really interacting or changing or opinions or actions or anything like that. But what's happening is they're kind of trying to do that whole maneuvering thing where they try to move people, like push. They're trying to push, right? Because that's what they're used to doing. And some people are like that. Like they get into these careers and these jobs and they want to push people. It makes them feel powerful. It gives them a sense of ease and comfort, right? To be able to affect a change in someone else, even if it's just like when I used to be here, they used to, I don't know how to explain it, but they were very appearance focused for the women here. And they would literally like shine lights on in my eyes if I was too close to the window to try to get me to move back, because they wanted like more of a college student front. But I don't know what that means. I don't really look that old for my age, and I didn't really understand what they were trying to tell me, but it was really funny. So things like that, like not verbal. They're not very verbal people. They're not written people. They're very bushy. So that's the kind of state hospital people that I came to know. But not all of them were like that. Some of them were the more, administrative people, and although even some of those had trouble, they weren't necessarily that unpleasant to me. But there was a guy that actually moved up here with the other guys, and he started subletting the apartment next to me as kind of like a, they have sober recovery houses, kind of like a Austin State Hospital recovery place. And that was kind of odd. I guess maybe, I hope that he thought as a special ed teacher I wouldn't mind that much, or something like that. But anyway, it was very odd. So that was happening. And so I have a third stalker. It looks like from this kind of an environment is where she hails from. I am not sure. And my face keeps looking like her, so it's freaking me out. But remember the guy that I showed you that kind of was turning his face into my face? This is a woman, I think. Pretty much a recently postpartum woman. And she seems to be going through some sort of emotional turmoil. And so on my security camera, I have video of her going through my things. And I have a lot of video, I guess, of her actually. But anyway, she comes in my room with her dogs, and they eat the food out of my trash, and they go through my things, and then they leave, and it's creepy as hell. And I just got my key changed, y'all, not like 10 days ago. So I'll show you this video. It's it's from like 2 weeks ago, I guess. But it also has been happening recently. And I wake up, the way I know is that I wake up and there's trash under my bed, because I don't think she likes me. And she seems to want to reappropriate my things. And she wants to have them for herself. And when she doesn't get what she wants, she puts trash under my bed to signify that she thinks I'm trash, which is so funny, while I'm sleeping. And I know you probably don't believe me, which is why I run cameras all of the time. And I can show you some of them without revealing too much about them or where they are and stuff. And so I'll show you this one from the SD card. It's pretty funny. Hold on one second. I gotta flip this around. Okay. But just remember, what they're really trying to do is detract from the 3 original stalkers that moved up here from a town nearby, my old town, SC and M, and their relatives and stuff. It's hard to explain, but all will come out eventually, because I'm going to keep telling you little vignettes about it so that you don't get overwhelmed at once, because trust me, it's kind of overwhelming. But hold on one second. Okay, where's the camera? It's like the camera walks. Isn't that crazy? I also have a really bad picture of the photos of the other guy, which I'll show you too. Y'all, it's been quite the time. And they keep speaking in symbols and stuff, and I don't understand what they mean, because I don't speak that crap. But let's see if this is the... Okay, so here's what the video is going to kind of look like, and hopefully we can see it together. You can see the cat sitting on the exercise bike, right? I just need to check the timing of it all, but I will edit it. Okay, here's my purse. Wait. Sorry for my thumbnail. Let me show you this. Okay. Here's my purse. Because remember, those guys didn't want me to be attractive to anyone, so they always try to make me as unattractive as possible, which is kind of upsetting. Especially in their more official capacities. Okay, so you see the cat. I'm in there, y'all. I don't ever go anywhere. You can see in the window above the sign, there's like a little face projection. Can you see that? This woman probably takes that coating with her when she goes places. Let's see. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but this is me, and you can see my hair over the sign, and I'm just sitting there listening to something. Here's the music. And they have kind of a QAnon face in the thing. Do you see the mask projected on the window? That's it's from this guy. He tells everybody that he's law enforcement or homeland security or something crazy. And then he has all these minions that go in and do his bidding in the different apartments, and it's really upsetting. And this might be her apartment that looks like my apartment, because this is the woman that has the third apartment, which is so crazy. But in one of these, I'll have to zoom it in on some more. Let's see. Okay, so now if you look outside, there's a guy sitting on his car looking in the window. Do you see him? I just put the security camera up. This is about 12 minutes. Remember, each segment is about 6 minutes. And this is right after that. Now, I used to put my security camera in the window. And so what you see is her version of that, because all she does, she has echopraxia, which if you don't know what that means, it means that you imitate what someone does. You are if they get their hair cut, you get your hair cut. If they buy new clothes, you get new clothes. If they get jewelry, you get jewelry. Now this woman takes it a step farther and wants my jewelry, but the point is that she is not mentally healthy. It's a sign that something is wrong with your brain, right? Because the world is vast and we are individual. Our fingerprints are like snowflakes, right? None of them are the same. And when you go out the door, there's a million different ways that you can spend your day. You don't have to do the same thing over and over again. You don't have to do what the person next to you is doing. Only a mind that was not well adjusted when it was younger because of bad treatment probably, but also maybe inherent illness, would go outside and immediately latch on to someone and try to do everything that they do, right? Okay, so you can see that this is probably, she has my camera. We just saw my bag in the last thing. She has my camera. This is her apartment, and there's a man in shadow on the left-hand side of the screen. Do you see him? Okay, and we're about to see a man sitting in a car watching this apartment in the parking lot. So anyway, she is trying to figure out how to do what I do. She wants to be like me, right? And she has my rectangle door knock that everybody seems to want to steal. I've lost 4 of them already to these people. They're just nuts about them. Here's mine. I don't know if you can see it. It has its challenges, y'all. I won't tell you what they are online, but you can buy one for yourself. They're like $12 at Amazon, and it's called a portable deadbolt. You can try it and you'll see it has advantages and disadvantages. Just remember, I told you that you have to make sure that it's not interfering with the actual working of the door. Okay, if it interferes with the actual working of the door, then it's not going to be secure. It'll actually make the situation worse. If you get it in the right place, then it works fine. All right, here we go. She's admiring her door lock. See, she has less tape on her window than I do. Looking out the window at M's car in the parking lot. I'm surprised she doesn't want to imitate. See, most people would want to imitate someone like M, but I am more accessible to them. They can steal my things. There's the guy sitting on the car. Do you see him? Right over the words on the display, which I should be able to remove from sight, but it won't. They don't go away from on this camera. Now you see him? Fairly large person sitting on his car photographing her, right? Because these people have been noticed in these duplicate apartments. And this lady might even be trying to Zoom with Daniel. I don't know. So crazy. All right, so I'm going to fast forward a little bit. So she either has the camera on something. Oh, there she goes in the background. Or she's just looking outside, wondering what's going on. Okay, look at her in the background. Remember, she is in my apartment, y'all. Okay, and you can tell that she is not me. Remember when I said I'm just a one big girl and I would be happy if I was a big girl? This is a big girl, which is fine, except for that she's stealing my stuff. But if you watch her, she's going through my things. And I'm in there, y'all. See how big she is? Now she's bought me groceries, so she's putting them in the fridge. This is the mystery grocery person. You see, her breasts and her butt are bigger than mine. I mean, I hate to keep harping, but I want you to know that's not me, but that is my apartment. And like I said, she could be C, S, or M, dressed up as me. She could be one of the guy stalkers that I mentioned, or she could be a totally different mentally ill person with mental illness. We don't know. I have a lot of respect for people with mental illness. I really do. I love a lot of them very much and would gladly have them in my life, the ones that I love. However, not all of them are the same. Looks like there's another person there for a second. Okay, now she thinks she's filming her outside window. But on some of these stocky apartments, one thing that they did to sort of reduce the hospital type apartments, I guess you would say, like the more mentally ill people, they put the reflective coating on the inside of the window as well. It's supposed to be on the outside, and it works really well. If you walk up to the windows, you generally have to put your face up to them to see. And even at night, and clearly anyway. And some of them have the reflective coating on the inside as well. So you get a really good view of that, which is nice for me because since I'm a victim of stalking, I like to be able to see what goes on in my apartment. You can tell her arms are a lot more in circumference than my own, but that's fine. I have daughters that have been big at times. I don't want them to feel bad. You can tell that she's using the 6-pack wrappers of something. I don't really use those so much, and she's putting them away in my refrigerator. Okay, so that's weird to wake up to. There's the gentleman outside, so watch the woman in the background. I have not watched this ahead of time, so if she's about to disrobe, I'm sorry. I'm just going to check real quick, see what her situation is. Nope. She is still putting away her groceries in my refrigerator. And the guy is still sitting in the car outside. It could be that each of these people has someone assigned to them, to sort of be an orderly for them. I don't know. I honestly don't know that. I'm not sure. I'm just speculating because it does seem like they sort of do odd things in the parking lot sometimes. That could be C going by on a scooter, a Segway thingy. Okay, so you can see her hair is much shorter than mine. And there's my purse. She must also have the identical purse to mine. Or this could be the male stalker in the stalking apartment that has the purse exactly like mine. But she is in my apartment, y'all. That is the bank sign. When you see the bank sign, you know that that's my apartment because I live in the front, and so all of these people live to the left of me as I face outside, and so my apartment is the closest to the street, except for the one male stalker who might live downstairs, but we're not sure. Okay. So you can see that she's kind of like huddled up against the closet. She's going through my things surreptitiously, digging in the bag, looking through the purses, digging in the cupboards. She's done her good deed for the day, and now she's ready to pay herself. And remember, I've fired everyone that could have ever thought that they would possibly be any kind of sort of co-opted person in my life. Like anyone who sort of moved in and started squatting as a social worker, or thinking that they were being a doctor to me, or trying to give me dental care, or acting like a beautician, or all those things. I fired all of those people who are trying, because what they do is they try to give you, I guess in their culture, they barter. So for different things under the table. And so what they would do is they would try to do nice things for you, but then they'd always want to pay themselves by going elbow deep in your bag for some jewelry, or looking in your refrigerator like she's doing for some food. And it's very upsetting. Now this isn't the emotionally ill, this isn't the emotional woman that was scratching herself so badly with the injured cat and the baby with a little black hands, little black foot. This is, however, a woman who is about 40 pounds more than me, I would say, at this point. And I'm pretty big for my size. So, but I think she has also lost weight. I have been losing weight. I believe she has lost a little weight. I'm not sure. And remember the extremely pregnant bodysuit in the other video? There's a real chance that she might be wearing that as well. Okay, so here she is putting on some makeup of mine. I don't really know what gives her the right to do that. Considering I have an immune deficiency, I could easily get ill from this kind of thing. It's very upsetting. I'm hoping to be able to file for some reimbursement from these people for crime, because it's a very expensive, and I had never bought myself nice things before, and to have them all smeared up by these people with their germs is very upsetting to me. I'm not really against men wearing makeup per se. I don't really have a say in what they do. I try not to have opinions on other people's behavior as long as it doesn't affect me. But my own stuff, I really do, it upsets me. Okay, let's listen to the audio and see if we can discover what she's up to. The guy on the car could also be her lookout if she is robbing me. She's obviously in my room without my consent. Now she's back elbow deep in my bag again. Not really sure why she's doing that. Let me put down the tablet real quick because my hand, okay, there. I have the video up so you can tell that she's being very quiet, right? Which I am never. Remember that someone has stolen my gold wallet and all kinds of other things of mine. We don't know why. Probably just to imitate me. She has a car and can afford her rent. She presumably has some sort of employment. All those things I do not have, but these people keep stealing from me. Which I think is kind of like shows a little bit about their mental capacity. First of all, you would think that their stuff would be better than my stuff anyway. Although I do have more freedom, perhaps. Okay, so she's on the right-hand side of the video. You can kind of see her shoulder. She's elbow deep in my stuff. Looks almost like a man, really. And the guy on top of the car is like walking around doing stuff now. And just in case they're killing something, because they usually are in the video, we'll fast forward it. It seems to be some sort of passive security to kill things in front of the stalkers. I'm not sure why. Okay, here's the next video. Now, she could be doing some kind of thing to me because I woke up and my teeth had been whitened, y'all. And I can kind of see hair on her leg, like my face, under her arm. So I'm not sure. That would really freak me out. Let me reorient myself real quick. Okay, no, she is kneeling. She might be doing something to my face, y'all. But she is kneeling. Do you see her right here? That's her elbow. She's facing away from the camera. That's her hair. That's my jacket. That she's wearing my favorite jacket. On the left-hand side, you see her lookout in the car. He's driving like a Ford or a, I don't know, my stalker drives like a Mazda 3, so this guy probably is driving a similar Honda Civic, maybe? It's kind of the similar guy. I think he's the guy from the family, and this could be the abortionist from the other video, who I do not want anywhere near me and seems to have doubled or tripled in size. So that's kind of creepy. You can see my face. You see my little face right there?